Right, let's do a quick demo of the Search API module. So first thing to do, go ahead and enable the module. There's nothing else to do. Once you do this, then everything will be okay. You probably want to, for this demonstration, I created some pieces of content so that we can retrieve using GraphQL. And I also created a Search API index using, in this case, a Solr backend, and assigned a bunch of fields to it as well. So we can get started. So the first thing to do is to use the newly available Search API search query field. And we have all these arguments that we can use to pass on to the query. You can read about all of these in the documentation. But the only one that we really absolutely need is this index ID, where we specify the ID of our Solr index. So we're going to do that now. Then we can decide what gets returned. So we want to return a list of documents from our index. And within those documents, we can specify what fields get returned. So the only one that we have available now is this index ID, which gives us just the ID of the index. Not very interesting. So we do get all the results, but just this one field. So the reason for that is that with this module, each document type is assigned or directly related to the index. So in order for us to get the fields for a particular index, we do need to specify it using a fragment. So if we do that here, already in the autocomplete, we'll have the list of indexes in the system, which in this case is just the one. So if we do this, then great, now we have all our fields available. So we're going to just specify a title, maybe a URL, and maybe a content type. Okay, so we have, we can just get rid of index ID, which is extremely uninteresting. And we have one institution called University of Sydney, and we have two courses, GraphQL Masters and Drupal Crash Course. Okay, so this is the bare bones of it. The other things we can do is we can return a result count for the list of documents that we obtained. So here we have 3. We can specify a bunch of things on our arguments. So I'm just going to cover a few of them. You have everything is in the documentation, and you have examples. So everything should be there for you. But we're going to specify a couple of interesting ones. So the first one, obviously, is full text. So what this does is allows us to do a full text search across our content. So the one mandatory requirement for this is to specify the keys, which is the keywords. So what we could do here is we're going to do a search for Drupal. And if we do it just like this, then we're going to do a full text search across all full text fields in the index. So this should return us the Drupal crash course. There we go. If we want to specify a particular field to search in our full text search, then we can do that using the fields argument. And we can if we, for example, put this on, say, the URL field, we can see that nothing gets returned. But if we do this on the title field, then obviously we get the same result. Other things we can do, we can sort. So, for example, if we decide to sort by title, and let's do ascending, then we get our result set in this case, because it's a string, in an alphabetical order. And if we do descending, then we get the inverse sorting. We can also do a range. So range is quite useful for pagination. So let's say because I don't have a lot of results in this case, let's do a pagination for one page. Okay, so if we do that, then let's do a start at 0 and at 1. And this is going to return only the first result. So let's say that in this case, each page for our list has only one result. So we do this and we get the first result. If we then specify from 1 to 2, then we get the second page. And obviously from 2 to 3, this third page. What else can we do? We can specify the language. We can do conditions. This is probably one of the important ones. So conditions are basically sort of at the heart of the query. So to do conditions, what we do is we specify an operator. Let's just move this here to make it more. So let's say equal in this case. All these, the available operators, everything is in the documentation as well. And we're just going to give it a name as well for our condition. So that could be, let's say, content type. And we also obviously need to give it a value of, in this case, course. So what this is going to do is it's going to do a query on our results and give me all results that are of the content type course. And here we go, 2 results, content type course. If we change that to institution, then it's going to give me 1. And give me the institution. So that's conditions. And you can specify multiple conditions. This is an array. If you put an array there, then you can specify multiple ones. The last one that I'll mention that's probably very relevant as well is the facets. So if we specify facets, we can specify multiple facets. Again, it's an array. I'm just going to put 1 for now. The first thing to specify is a field. So we can do, in this case, study field. It's a taxonomy. What else can we do? We can specify a limit, and basically, it tells me if I want a limit on the amount of values that a facet returns. I don't want a limit in this case. The operator, which in this case I just want to make it equal. A min count. So this is useful if you don't want facets with 0 results to be returned. You can just specify 1 here, and then missing is if you want to generate missing results for the facet as well, which we don't want that. So let's just do this. And if we do this like this, the facet information has been passed to the query, but we're not actually seeing any facets in our result set. For that, we need to specify them in our query here. But wrong place. So we can do facets, and for facets, we return a name of the facet. And for each facet, we're going to get a list of values. So for example, in this case, we have a study field taxonomy. So we have several values there. And for each of them, we want count, and we want the name of the value for that count. So if we do it like this, hopefully, you can see that I have 1 for each. 1 for each. So if we can actually maybe do a quick test here and assign, what can we do here? Let's put this on computer science as well. This is cached, so we probably need to So GraphQL caches the entire response. So if we just do this now, here we go. We have two computer science results and one for engineering. That's pretty much it. Feel free to drop any questions and head over to GitHub if you have any issues with the module. And thanks for watching.